this week is absolutely insane. We have new best low poly AI generator as well as new high poly generator delivering 2K voxel resolution. More than that, Tencent drops agentic AI that can create complete 3D worlds from one prompt. And we have crazy showcases of 4D Gaussian Splats. This and more in today's news episode with Philip.
Alright, and first news from my side is that Radiance Fields released a new video which is actually really impressive because it's a 4D GS video in partnership with 4D VAI. It takes a 2D video and transforms this in a completely like 4D kind of experience. They also published some examples that you can see here in this preview video, but you can also navigate to the site t.4dv.ai.
Here we have a Dell Pro Max T2 tower and its specs are just insane.
The sound basically is aligning with the footage we have, and the best thing is it's not 2D, it transformed completely into a 3D experience. Yeah, kind of navigate around very smoothly in your browser for VR experience, for example. Also a lot of other use cases and looks really impressive. So when we go to this video here, for example, it's a guy talking into the room here, but it definitely is great for having this immersive visual experiences that we didn't see before. I'm really impressed about the real-time feature here that we have. This could lead to a whole new experience that you have in VR and AR in the end. And this is also working really great with like fast motions, as you can see here with this dancer. And you can also check out here the full 2D video they did basically about this. So in case you are interested in that, you know, it will be explained here how they take it from this 2D video all the way then to this new experience. And you can see how you can easily transform it into different spaces with this new technique. I hope we will find out more about this very soon, but definitely exciting to see the progress in the space.
So Tencent releases WorldClaw. What is it? So basically that's like an agentic 3D that combines like different models and some knowledge about how to build 3D worlds into a tool that can turn a prompt into a world populated with different 3D objects. And this is quite hyping because it's a big company behind this. You can see some examples on their website right now and what techniques they use, and that means we're gonna see more and more improvements. This basically sets the direction. We already know that AI can generate very beautiful 3D model and even low poly game ready model, but what about building complete worlds? And this is the answer. We actually have some prototype. I'm gonna be honest, this is still a very early stage, and if we see some demos, you're gonna see like there's plenty of imperfections in object placement, etc. But it's starting to make sense, so all links will be in the description. You can also take a look and explore other examples. Let's see where it goes.
And next up we have a big update by Meshy because Meshy 7 is officially released now, and they focused especially on image accuracy. So you can definitely see here the improvements from the input image and how it translates that into 3D space. Definitely a big update by Meshy and something you need to check out. You can also see here how well Meshy 7 performs in comparison to its older models or competitor models about like overall proportion, spatial distribution, distribution and surface details, for example. We also have here not only single view but also a multi-view with Meshy 7, and you can read here especially how they do it, that they get this kind of very accurate surface details that they were looking for. This is of course also especially useful for like coins or reliefs, as you can see here, where we capture then a lot of fine details, which is of course really good for 3D printing. And I'm gonna release also soon a comparison video between the latest 3D AI generators to see where it really nails and where it stands behind the other models, and definitely make sure to check it out. We will link everything down below for you.
After a lot of waiting, we finally got Tripo P2 released, and it justifies all waitings. It shows significant improvement in wireframe. Specifically, they introduced quads, and I would say I was testing it on some hard surfaces, on characters. I was genuinely surprised, and I also want to remind you that it's crazy fast, like 5 to 6 seconds to generate one low poly model. You can iterate fast, then you can texture it, and etc. I made complete video review, the link will be somewhere here. It is, however, not solving all the cases. For example, when I was doing like some realistic garments, I faced some issues like how it actually builds the wireframe. But using this model in the right approach, like splitting into the parts, you're gonna get far. And as I predicted, this model taking first place on low poly 3D AI arena with 70.9% win rate, which is crazy. And it's still calibrating, right? Maybe it's gonna reach even higher elo.
All right, and next up we have ComfyMPC, and this one is especially nice because it will be your personal assistant in ComfyUI. So you don't need to have Claude running in the background to figure out your issues, because ComfyMPC can do that. And they made it now open source, so you can also run it locally, which is of course really powerful. You can use it to debug your workflows in case you have some issues. You can then tell it, for example, also your GPU, and ComfyMPC then knows exactly what models you need to download and will be then your personal assistant while being added. So really cool to see that and really exciting. In case you would like to see a detailed video about the MCP, then let me know. I'm really keen to dive inside it and show you guys what it's capable of.
Another big release, but this time about high poly, was from Hunyuan3D, releasing version 3.0. And Philip already told you about that in our previous news episode, but this one is finally live. It's out of beta. I was thinking it will land in top 3 maybe, etc. But I think it actually gonna beat Tripo 3.1 finally, because these HD meshes are insane. I was comparing it side by side with Tripo, with Meshy 7, and it definitely does better job, and not only in geometry, but I also saw very big improvement in materials. Full breakdown of course is already on my channel. And if we take a look on the arena, you can see it actually goes side by side with Tripo. Tripo is still a little bit higher, but you can see that a win rate right now is a little bit higher on Hunyuan, which means that over time it will be calibrated and probably beat Tripo 3.1. But let's see how it goes. I would definitely recommend to take a look, especially if you are into 3D printing. For 3D printing, this is probably gonna be the best model because it also delivers quite sharp, nice, watertight geometry. I mean, you see what you see. And by the way, on launch, it was 48 hours of free access, so anyone could generate for free. And to not miss any event like that, don't forget to follow me on X. You're gonna be first to know any update about 3D AI.
Next up, big shout out again to Visual Bruno for keeping developing and updating 3D Gen Studio. You might have seen my latest video about this, and since then a lot of things have changed again. He added in a lot of new features that you can all read in his log here. Basically, also in case you have installed 3D Gen Studio already, just update it with the latest version. You can see we have updated MCP over here. We have a fixed bake mode now that should work, a mesh editor, and a lot of other stuff. Like for example as well, he improved here the rigging format. So in the mesh editor, you can now even better rig your model with skin token. You have here a better workflow for flux to client and so on to edit your models. And you can also, export your mesh and, have different options. And you have now also different options here to export your mesh with different maps and so on. I will keep you posted about any new updates that come along the way, but definitely cool to see so much progress with this tool.
Fully open source wall generator named Evoke. This actually shows the trend, and I've been talking to a lot of people in industry, and they also confirms that this is where they imagine it all goes. And we have another cool model with 14 billion parameter, which is also open source, showing and how they say democratizing the access to these models. Well, from what you can see, it's quite good examples, but I cannot say that there is anything crazy impressive. The good thing that code is already released on GitHub, and you can also find all weights available on Hugging Face. If actually someone used them and tried to run locally, definitely leave a comment. I'm really curious about your use case.
And then last but not least, we have some new updates from AutoRemesher. I know we covered it already a few videos ago, but this is definitely cool because it's the only real good local open source solution we have at the moment. And as you can see, a lot of parts were updated here. You can read about the details here, what it can do. So you can download it and give it a try yourself and then use it for your own projects. Always appreciated to have new retopology solutions in the open source space.
And last but not least from my side, GLM 5.3. And this one is very interesting. We just recently was talking about Kimi K3 and how good it was in 3D design specifically. I made a few videos about that, and it was indeed on the level of Fable 5. But Opus 5 actually surpassed it. Now ZAI actually claims by the benchmarks that you can see that is better than Kimi K3. And this GLM 5.3 is still same amount of parameters, 740 43 billions, same as its ancestor 5.2. This boost in efficiency was achieved by post-training alone. Next week, I'm gonna give it a try and see how good it will perform in 3D tasks. So don't forget to subscribe.
Alright, and this was it for this week. We really hope you have enjoyed this video. As always, let us know down below what you would like to see next. Make sure to check out Stefan's channel and subscribe to him, and as well, of course, to my channel in case you're interested to see more new high quality 3D AR videos in the space. So definitely make sure to check that out, and see you on the next one.